what about the creatives? We suggest keeping up to 10 creatives to speed up the exploration phase, to help the model explore all of them faster. So the model will explore each. The only reason we suggest keeping up to 10 is that it doesn't make much sense to add more because it's going to extend the exploration, right? You will notice the creatives that perform well and those that don't. And you can turn them on and off, set the daily cap for the creatives. There's also an option like that in case you want to push the ones that perform more, but you don't want to switch the other ones. Up to 10 is more than enough. Creating more, the only thing it does is that extends the exploration of each. What you might notice having more, let's say 50, is that you're not getting enough impressions for each. Why? Because the model explores each one by one, right? So it might take some time. So create up to 10, see how it goes, turn some off, set daily caps, try new ones. You don't have to do it every day. We usually suggest exploring the ones that you've created. And after you feel like the same exploration budget, let's say that we suggest 3 times TCPA-ish, right? You will see the VCTR, and then you can decide whether you want to create new ones. So moving to the next recommendation is be patient, right? It's also one thing about the exploration. The other thing is that both CPC and CPA, the actual CPA, when we say, we mean the fact CPA that happens, they could fluctuate, right? It's normal for CPA Tune. If you experience a certain volatility, that's fine, because the conversion probability is not going to be the same every time. It's going to change as, let's say, the competition change, right? Because we do not control the auction artificially anyhow. Let's say you got more competitors that day, right? So you could experience one day drop or something. The next day, the model will adapt. The model will understand whether the bid should be increased, right? And you can ramp up and pick up again. So be patient with it, even if you're experiencing a drop or a slightly higher average CPC that you feel is comfortable for you. That is normal with CPA Tune. So that is why we suggest checking the performance, not for a day or two, but at least a week. So you could see the average per week to have a better picture and better understanding of what's happening. The competition matters, as I mentioned, and as we don't bid when we don't see a high likelihood of a conversion, that's totally fine. We're protecting your budget. We don't want to spend when there's no prediction of a conversion. That's the whole point. As mentioned multiple times before, allow the exploration. So broader targeting gives the algorithm space to find high-performing traffic. That's why we do not suggest narrowing it down. Narrow targeting will not give you enough room to explore. Adjusting gradually, what it means is that the main lever that you have within automated optimization is your target CPA. Increasing target CPA is basically bidding more aggressively, let's call it that way. So that's your main lever. You can pull it up and down, increase and decrease it. You can do that as many times as you want. It's not going to interrupt the exploration. It's not going to interrupt the learning. It's not going to interrupt anything. We would suggest waiting for a couple of days and not do that 5 times in a row right after the campaign started, of course. But you can do that a limited number of times. The campaign and the algo will react within 5 minutes. So almost, let's call it immediately, right? So you will see the changes. That's your main lever. Increase target CPA or daily budget. If you see that fact CPA is below the target and you're completing the budget and you want to scale, right? We suggest doing that. If you want to bid less aggressively, you want to be more cautious, you want to give it a little bit more time, decrease CPA, try to catch cheaper conversions if you want to balance. That's totally up to you. That's what you can control. That's what we encourage you to do. Control that lever. Also, please do not think that CPA Tune will do all of the job for you. Of course, you need to pay attention to your campaign, and manual fine-tuning is also required. So you have to work on blocking the sources or creatives that overspend without delivering, right? So just like I mentioned, 3 times target CPA without conversions, we suggest turning those off. When it comes to creatives, it's like trying new ones, especially trying the ones that differ in terms of overall look and feel, right, and the message. If something is a low performer, I would suggest not trying very similar ones. Maybe change the approach here. Also, you can ask your account manager for CPA benchmarks. I also mentioned that before. Our account managers are very experienced. They help with optimization. You can always get them involved, and they will help with optimizing the campaigns, knowing the sources, knowing the strategies. You can count on those people. They are very qualified. The bidding, right? Let the algo drive bidding. Basically, the advertiser's role is to guide with smart adjustments. How you could adjust the bids, I already mentioned. Target CPA is your main lever. Increasing it would make the algo bid higher. Decreasing it makes bidding more cautious, and you can balance that out.